In most stories, the main characters are always the adventurers. But have you ever stopped to ask who put those weapons in their hands? Forged between iron and flame, a bond of souls was born. And with it came the legend of the blacksmiths. And this story begins with a tragedy. The blacksmith village of Volcania was invaded by monsters. The final gate was already shaking under the demon army's assault. But the only people left inside the village were blacksmiths with barely any combat power. With strength like that, there was no way they could hold back the demon army outside. The Empire had already sent its answer, and the message was clear. Figure it out yourselves. Just as the villagers expected, they had already been abandoned. Their only chance to survive now seemed to be accepting the demons' terms and going to demon territory to forge weapons for them. But how could they ever agree to something like that? Everyone in the village had already prepared to die. Everyone, except one person. Dad, I'm scared. Yuta, don't be afraid. Listen to me. Hide here, and don't come out no matter what. The smelting techniques passed down through our village can't end here. You have to survive. That way we can step forward with no regrets. Remember, never lose the courage to keep moving forward. Without us, there are no adventurers. In this land overrun by monsters, we are the ones who forge humanity's claws. Even if you read trapped in despair, even if reality is cruel, you must survive no matter what. Carry the memory of our village forward and make it shine. Then, the final gate was smashed open. Every adventurer and blacksmith who could still fight stepped forward. The demons sneered, "So you choose death after all?" The villagers stood their ground. "So what if we do? Humans will never surrender. Then I'll send every last one of you to hell. Idiots of Volcania, show these monsters what blacksmiths are made of. We are magical craftsmen who challenge the realm of steel with mortal hands. The hammer and the tongs are the eternal bond of the furnace. And if we can, we want to create a kind of magic that belongs only to blacksmiths." Watching her father fight desperately against the monsters, Yuta could no longer hold back her tears and ran toward the battlefield. Remember, our name is the Eternal Forge Masters. The moment Yuta's father's head was cut off, time seemed to freeze completely. The land where she had grown up was now covered in bodies. The neighbors who used to greet her every single day were now soaked in blood, reduced to cold corpses. Even the father she loved most had fallen right before her eyes. Yuta could not believe it. Her entire world had collapsed in that instant. But misfortune always strikes the ones who are already suffering. So one little survivor is still here. What a shame. Every shield that could protect you has already been shattered. As he spoke, the demon grabbed Yuta by the head. Then he violently dragged her backward. His sharp fingers carved a deep wound across Yuta's right eye. Congratulations, you survived the massacre. Even if you're only a child, you still carry Volcania's blood. So offer the rest of your life to the Demon King's army. From this day on, you are a blacksmith of the Demon King's forces. Meanwhile, at a slave forging workshop by the Demon King's coastal dock, quenching, heating, hammering. That was what Yuta repeated every day inside the demon army. Her name was Galencia Yuta, the last survivor of the blacksmith village. 10 years had passed since the village was slaughtered. She had survived, but only as a slave blacksmith for the Demon King's army. A life without freedom, working day and night, was going to drive her insane sooner or later. Could someone like her still call herself a blacksmith? Slave blacksmith, get out here. The Legion commander walked into the workshop, carrying a corpse. He used to be my right-hand man. Unfortunately, he died in battle against the hero. The materials Yuta used to forge weapons were the corpses of dead monsters. The Legion commander would bring the bodies of fallen demon soldiers to her. Then he would order her to dismantle them and forge the useful parts into weapons. That was the work Yuta had to complete every single day. She was forced to use the techniques of her village to arm her own enemies. It was beyond miserable. Even so, one thought haunted Yuta every day. What was the true blacksmith her father had spoken of? She wanted to know why they chose death over surrender. Even once, she wanted to escape this nightmare and see the outside world with her own eyes. Just then, the ceiling suddenly began to crack. A massive figure crashed down from above and landed behind her. This place is way too big. I got lost in here. Huh? Why is there a human here? The woman who suddenly appeared left Yuta completely stunned. After asking a few questions, Yuta finally learned that this woman claimed to be a hero, a new generation adventurer whose strength was still unknown. Meanwhile, on the Legion commander's side, his subordinate reported that the other Legion commanders had begun questioning the idea of using human-made weapons forged from demon corpses. How foolish. The craft of those forging slaves is inherited through blood. Unless someone shares their direct bloodline, no one else can touch it. The forging process can explode or melt everything down. Because our bodies all have different traits, the danger level changes completely. Their ability to see danger in advance and avoid it is exactly the power passed down through their bloodline. The weapons they forge are beyond anything we imagined. This is the perfect chance to improve our arsenal. The other Legion commanders are complete fools. The only survivor of the Blacksmith village is in our hands. For the Demon King's great cause, what does it matter if we sacrifice a few comrades' corpses? Are you really a hero? That's just what people call me. But at that moment, Yuta's attention was completely captured by the great sword at the woman's waist. Hero, may I ask what material your weapon is made from? This hardness, this forging technique, it's incredible. I had it forged in a place called Blacksmith Street. It's not exactly some priceless treasure. I think it was made from ion water iron with a few spells added on top. To me, this sword tastes absolutely amazing. You are a blacksmith? But iron weapons are new to you? I was taken here when I was little, and I've only ever forged monster weapons. I taught myself using the books left behind by my village. The Legion commander said I'd die if I failed, so I had no choice but to study like my life depended on it. I really want to see Blacksmith Street. That's where real blacksmiths live. Hearing that, the hero immediately said, "Then I'll take you there." You don't want to stay here forever, do you? I can tell you, we're not just pretending. In order to survive, my mentor once told me that people who live in constant suffering are only truly alive when they find a reason to keep living. So what's your reason for living? My reason? At that moment, Yuta suddenly remembered her father's final words. If they could, they wanted to create a magic that belonged only to blacksmiths. Once you've made up your mind, let's get moving. But just then, both of them sensed footsteps coming from nearby. Well, sounds like a big one is coming. The Legion commander suddenly walked in. Slave blacksmith, I heard a lot of noise coming from here. What's going on? The moment he appeared, he immediately noticed the stranger in the room. Damn, hero. How did you get in here? Miss Blacksmith. Looks like I'll have to deal with this problem first. The hero drew both of her long swords. Let me take care of you first. Then I'll bring her out of here. With that, she charged straight at the Legion commander, commander of the 8th Army. I haven't seen you in a long time. Not since I destroyed your legion. If it weren't for you, I never would have ended up in this pathetic state. The moment the two of them created distance, the Legion commander swung his tail, lined with spinning saw teeth, straight at the hero. The hero was surprised, because in their previous battle, she had never seen him use that move. Too bad a little trick like that won't work on me. Watching the hero fight, Yuta thought she looked like a free bird soaring through the sky. Compared to her, Yuta was nothing more than a caged sparrow who had never seen the sun. The battle between the hero and the Legion commander grew more intense. Damn it, is dodging all you know how to do? Then let me show you my real power. Martial art, Northern Land hunting style, Sunbreaker Wind Surge. Skill, Amaterasu, Blazing Horizon. In the next second, their skills slammed into each other. Sword, light, and flames exploded together, clashing and scattering again and again. Yuta could hardly believe it. The hero was slowly being pushed back. But at that moment, the hero suddenly said to her, "If you just stand there and do nothing, your future will never change. Move. Break this rotten world apart. Let's write our own legend with our own hands." The hero flung 3 throwing knives at the Legion commander. Each blade was wrapped in immense magical power. Then all 3 struck the Legion commander's body directly. Those are paralysis blades. The moment they hit, they release an electric current that can temporarily paralyze the target. Looks like you can't move now. A fool who only knows how to fight always leaves an opening. But the Legion commander suddenly smiled. "You seem to have forgotten where you are. My men are already here. And why should that worry me? Did you really think I was stupid enough to break in here alone? Someone else will take care of the trouble outside. Isn't that right, my dear apprentice?" The hero's apprentice walked in, covered in blood. What a pain. Master always dumps the heavy chores on me. At that moment, the Legion commander put his final hope on Yuta. "Slave blacksmith, what are you standing there for? Get over here and melt this thing down." Hearing his order, Yuta moved on instinct. Hey, little blacksmith. If you don't change now, you'll be stuck here forever. Are you really okay with that? Hearing those words, Yuta immediately stopped. Her father had told her to inherit the will of the blacksmith village. But what did that actually mean? She wanted to leave and find the answer. If she kept giving in to fear, she would never know the truth for the rest of her life. Today, she would take her first step toward finding it. Seeing Yuta's expression, the Legion commander panicked. "Slave blacksmith, what do you think you're doing? Stop calling me that. Remember my name. I am Galencia Yuta, and I am a human blacksmith. Hero, can I really live again as a human blacksmith? I didn't expect you to be this strong. Don't doubt your own power. When you meet people who can fight beside you, use everything you have. One day, you'll get what you truly want. My mentor had a motto: no one is stronger than someone who truly enjoys their own power. So, are you ready to go to Blacksmith Street? At that moment, Yuta suddenly remembered what her father once told her. Yuta, one day, I'll take you to the sacred place where every great craftsman gathers, the legendary Blacksmith Street. Hot tears slid down her cheeks, and Yuta knew she had finally been set free. Shiro, please take me to Blacksmith Street. 1 year passed in the blink of an eye. Yuta was no longer the helpless blacksmith anyone could push around. To search for forging materials, she often went out hunting herself. There are so many targets today, I can barely wait. Let's go all out and wipe out every last one of these disgusting bugs. The maker of monster weapons is waiting right here. Adventurers are welcome. I'll forge the most beautiful weapons for you. Beside her, Ash simply raised a demonic sword. The moment the blade stabbed into the ground, a demon as massive as a mountain took shape. Working together with Yuta's water-type skill, it threw a punch straight into the swarm of monsters. The terrifying impact shattered the mountain in front of them. These monsters really are weak. It's not just the monsters. The weapons you forge are weak too. That one broke after a single move. Weak? You got a problem with that? As long as I can get the materials I need, I can make any kind of weapon you want. Don't forget, I'm a monster weapon blacksmith. Meanwhile, back at Yuta's forge, with the new materials in hand, she began today's work. Ash, you felt it too, didn't you? So annoying. I really don't want to see it. Based on Yuta's senses, that thing seemed to have returned. At that moment, a man appeared on the street. Hero, this is Blacksmith Street, where the continent's top craftsmen gather. High-quality weapons were displayed everywhere along the street. This was the sacred place every adventurer dreamed of visiting. The weapons are definitely good, but this place feels different from the rumors. Hero, the shop you're looking for is right here. In front of them stood a blacksmith shop called Half Love. But after they walked inside, they saw no one there. The owner might be out. Let's wait here for a bit. I heard the craftsmen here were tough and rough around the edges, but after seeing the place today, it doesn't really feel that way. That's because every craftsman here is bound by the street's rules. Street rules? What happens if someone breaks them? They get banished from the city forever. I've heard some even lose an arm. Isn't that a little extreme? Just then, the shop owner walked out. It's not extreme at all. At the end of the day, craftsmen are basically a bunch of thugs. Without rules and taboos, there'd be no way to control these lawless maniacs. So, brave adventurers, what kind of equipment are you looking to buy from my shop? We are looking for a weapon known as a monster weapon. Hero? I don't know where you heard about that, but we don't carry strange things like that here. You should know that making and selling monster weapons is one of this street's taboos. So I'm sorry, but please leave my shop. But I know about a giant weapon engraved with a horn and warhammer mark. At that moment, something about the hero became extremely strange. His companion beside him grew worried. Ever since he obtained that new weapon, he had been acting more and more abnormal. Hero, please stop. Digging into the blacksmith's taboos could lead to terrible consequences. You mean consequences like this? As he spoke, the hero killed the girl who had just warned him. Then he turned to his other companion. 2 sacrifices should be enough, right? Even though the man kept begging for mercy and desperately asking why, the hero showed no mercy and offered him to the demonic sword as well. Until the one who brought monster weapons back here shows up, I'll kill everyone in this place. Spit them out, Erisichthon. In the next second, the demonic sword in the hero's hand opened its massive fangs and began vomiting out disgusting monsters. The once peaceful Blacksmith Street suddenly erupted with golden light, followed by a violent explosion that shook the entire street. When the smoke cleared, the owner of Half Love Blacksmith Shop had somehow survived. But when he looked up, he was horrified to see countless red monsters crawling out of the ruins. They lunged wildly at the people on the street. How boring. I've gone this far, and still no one is coming to stop me. The blacksmith owner roared through gritted teeth. You fallen monster. We blacksmiths will never submit. The weapon in your hand is not something humans can control. Can't you feel it? Every time you use it, your mind gets corrupted. I don't care about something that small. When I found this sword, a voice kept tempting me. Take me, and use me to achieve everything you want. From that moment on, I became addicted to this power. Only the overwhelming strength granted by a monster weapon can make me a hero who never loses. The moment the monster weapon came crashing down, a blade suddenly appeared and blocked the strike. Ash had arrived just in time and saved the owner of Half Love Blacksmith Shop. Yuta then popped out from the side, hugging the great sword in the hero's hand as she gently stroked it. Long time no see, Erisichthon. Your performance is still so adorable. That one move completely enraged the hero. He swung his sword at Yuta, but she dodged it with ease. Why are you so rude? I don't serve customers like you. Ash, take care of the old man for me. Yuta, don't forget the taboo rules of Blacksmith Street. You must not use that thing. Those street rules are exactly why we ended up like this. So I'll be the one to smash those damn taboos apart. With that, Yuta lifted her released hammer. She slammed it into the ground, and the terrifying force instantly destroyed everything around her. However, the blow did not do much damage to the hero. In the hero's eyes, the blacksmith before him had completely changed, and all kinds of strange weapons were scattered around her. My adorable hero, you came here looking for these, didn't you? Then hurry up and come closer. Make sure you get a good look at the masterpieces I forged. Seeing this, the hero instantly grew excited. I finally found them. My beloved monster weapons. Every single weapon here is my masterpiece. If you want one, I'll give you one. With one swing of Yuta's hammer, the throwing knife from before was launched forward with brutal force. It was so fast that even the hero could not react. In the next second, it sliced off his arm. Don't be too picky now. I still have several more I was planning to show you. In the next second, the hero's body was pierced through by the weapon Yuta fired. Covered in blood, the hero looked utterly miserable. You bastard. How dare you? Furious, the hero activated the demonic sword skill again. Spit them out, Erisichthon. In the next second, countless ugly monsters rushed toward Yuta. How disappointing. You have a powerful weapon like Erisichthon, and you're still this useless. Let me show you the proper way to use a monster weapon. As she spoke, Yuta fed her own blood to the weapon in her hand. Drag him away, Hades. As Hades came crashing down in Yuta's hand, countless arms burst out of the ground. They dragged every charging monster straight into hell. The hero stared in disbelief at the scene before him. The monsters he had summoned had all been devoured. And now, even he was trapped by those same beasts. But by then, it was already too late for regret. Monster weapons may be activated by human blood, but their true method of use is to offer your own blood. The longer you use them, the greater their power becomes. This demonic sword affects the emotions of its user. If someone uses it without forming a contract, it will eventually devour them instead. The elders of Blacksmith Street never knew the truth, so they treated it as a taboo. The dying hero lay on the ground and could not help asking, "Who are you?" As you can see, I'm just a blacksmith, but including me, the blacksmiths here seem to be a little different. Everyone, bring out the strongest weapons in your shops. Let these monsters know who the real owners of this place are. See that? Every blacksmith here is tougher than the last. So let me officially greet you. Fake hero, welcome to Blacksmith Street. But in the very next moment, Yuta was standing at the entrance of Blacksmith Street. After finally saving the entire town, she had been banished by the people there. This is all because you broke the taboo. I didn't even do anything, and you dragged me into it too, you damn bastard. Now I'm homeless all over again. I only forged a few monster weapons. Did they really have to go this far? On Blacksmith Street, monster weapons were strictly forbidden. But to Yuta, that was nothing more than the jealousy of the older generation. They had already been completely corrupted by money and refused to accept a craft they could not control. One day, Yuta would prove to them that monster weapons were the strongest path a blacksmith could take. So what are you going to do now? They won't let us go back. And don't forget, all your monster weapons were destroyed by the magic beasts. Right now, besides that busted hammer, you have nothing left. Those words instantly enraged Yuta again. I'm going back and smashing the entire Blacksmith Street to pieces. Don't stop me. I'm going to avenge my children. Just then, Yuta's hammer suddenly reacted. Both of them froze at the sight. Why would this be happening now? This hammer was a weapon Yuta had made from Elisina's giant eye, and she had given it the ability to mark the nearest monster weapon. And right now, the eye was pointing straight inside Blacksmith Street. Weren't all your weapons supposed to be destroyed except for this hammer? Most likely, someone secretly kept one. They dared to touch my weapon. If we leave it alone, this could get dangerous. Looks like we'll have to go back and fight after all. Good thing I hid one monster weapon in advance. So, what's our next plan? Don't you already know? We do exactly what I just said. We completely remodel Blacksmith Street. Colt Kieran had once forged a weapon praised as the finest blade on Blacksmith Street. He was an elder-ranked craftsman and the owner of Colt Blacksmith Shop. But now he had become a laughingstock among adventurers. What a terrible weapon. Don't tell me this is the highest level Blacksmith Street has to offer. As Colt's skill and status continued to decline, even third-rate adventurers had begun looking down on him. The situation grew worse by the day. Then yesterday's riot happened. All it took was one weapon for a person to become overwhelmingly powerful. Colt had witnessed the entire thing from the side. That was exactly the kind of powerful weapon he had always been chasing. A single weapon had nearly destroyed the entire city. So, during Yuta's trial on Blacksmith Street, the leading representative declared, "We have decided to destroy every monster weapon you created. And because you violated the industry taboo followed by all craftsmen, we hereby sentence you to permanent banishment." Sitting in the audience, Colt knew his chance to rise again had finally arrived. So he used his authority to secretly hide one of the weapons during the destruction process. Now, I can finally become the greatest craftsman on Blacksmith Street again. To avoid being discovered, Yuta and Ash had no choice but to sneak back into Blacksmith Street through the sewers. This was originally a tunnel Yuta had dug for weapon experiments, but she never expected it to come in handy today. Alright, tell me, what do you see? Their operation seems even bigger than we imagined, and it looks like it's an old acquaintance of yours. Want to see for yourself? So it really is Colt Kirin. Don't tell me he's trying to reverse engineer my monster weapons. That explains everything. This is the final struggle of the declining Colt blacksmith shop. Then what are you going to do? Report him to the authorities? Why bother? I'm just going to smash this place apart. Are you seriously planning to fight all of them with just the two of us? Did you forget we still have one more helper? After carefully examining the weapon, Colt became wildly excited. Now I only need to figure out what materials those giant weapons use. Once I can mass produce them. Just as Colt was still lost in his fantasy of a bright future, one of his men rushed in. "Boss, bad news. Yuta is here. She is wrecking everything in the lab right now." Well. Hurry up and bring out that bald old thief. You've been banished. Leave this place right now. But in the next second, Yuta grabbed the man by the face. Then, she slammed him hard into the ground. After the dust cleared, Colt finally walked out. "Yuta, long time no see. I don't know how you found this place, but personally, I'd like to thank you. Thanks to your monster weapon, my hope has been reignited. I'll turn it into the most dazzling creation on this street. That is why I've decided to take this technology for myself. For the sake of my career, you can sleep here forever." The moment he finished speaking, a group of underground mercenaries charged at Yuta. "Looks like I have no choice. I really didn't want to use this, but you forced my hand. Come out, arms of fire." In the next second, several arms grew from Yuta's back. With one swing of her sword, she cut down the enemies in midair. How's that? With these arms, I no longer have to fear being surrounded, even if you try to attack me from behind. I can block you with ease. Seriously, can't you at least let me finish talking before you try to stab me? But the mercenaries did not care and immediately swarmed her again. Underground mercenaries really were troublesome. They were killers with no fear of death, and Yuta was already reaching her limit just defending herself. But Yuta was not stupid enough to come here alone just to die. Ash suddenly leapt out from the corner. Assassins. The real show starts now. With that, Ash threw the monster weapon in her hand. Although Ash had already retired, she had once been a veteran underground mercenary. After grabbing the weapon, Ash charged straight toward Colt. But just when Yuta thought victory was certain, the blade stopped just a few centimeters from its target. More mercenaries suddenly appeared from the surroundings and blocked Ash's attack. But don't forget, Ash was holding a monster weapon. "Come out, arms of fire." Immediately, two arms made of flames grew from Ash's back. She cut the weapon in Colt's hand in half. I let my guard down. That thing was aiming for the monster weapon in my hand. "Yuta, what exactly are you trying to do?" "I'm showing you what happens when you touch my things without permission." "What is that supposed to mean? You'd rather destroy it than give it to me? How stupid. Did you really think monster corpses are the only materials used to forge weapons?" That spear was bound to its original owner through something similar to a contract. The moment the weapon broke just now, that contract broke with it. Hearing Yuta's words, Colt became even more confused. "So what exactly are you trying to say? With that brain of yours, did you really think you could make monster weapons? Using powers that exist beyond the human realm and forming bonds with those beings is part of the monster weapon field itself. So let me show you its true form." In the next second, a massive dimensional portal appeared above them. "Doctor, long time no see." At the sight of this, Colt was completely terrified. A giant dragon slowly walked out of the portal. The dragon spoke in a deep voice. "The mana inside the rotten tooth you removed seems to have connected again, and now my tooth hurts. Did something go wrong with the treatment? Barrios, I'm terribly sorry. The mana sealing device has failed. Those idiots broke the weapon." Only then, did Colt realize that the monster weapon had been forged from the tooth of the dragon before him. You savage monkeys dared to damage my tooth. Please make sure you teach these bad guys a lesson. Colt tried to explain that he was not the one who broke it, but it was already too late. You foolish humans, I will wipe you from this world completely. Meanwhile, at the Blacksmith Street Elder Council, what a shame. Yuta was originally a child with extraordinary talent. If she had not broken the street rules back then, her future would have been limitless. When I accepted Yuta into the street, it was because I wanted to keep her technology firmly in my hands. That's why I planted Brooke as her watcher, yet you ended up protecting her instead. If you were not a member of the Elder Council, you would have been banished with her long ago. I deeply apologize. However, if you continue ruling this place by yourself, something will go wrong sooner or later. What could possibly go wrong? Under my wise leadership, Blacksmith Street remains the safest place even today. But in the next second, a violent explosion rang out in the distance. Everyone, bad news. Yuta and Ash are back. Damn it. It's those two again. At that moment, the giant dragon was rampaging through Blacksmith Street. Cracks spread across the surrounding walls. At this rate, the entire Blacksmith Street would be destroyed. This was completely different from the riot caused by the fake hero. Was this the consequence of touching a forbidden weapon? Seeing this situation before him, Colt was completely frozen. Just then, a massive boulder fell from the sky. It landed directly on Colt's leg. This should have been so simple. I only wanted to study a monster weapon. Why did it end up like this? You still don't realize your mistake. Monster weapons are not a field someone like you can touch. A man who only cares about money could never control a forbidden weapon. Great power always comes with a terrible price, and sometimes, that price is death. How could an old relic like you, who only cares about money, ever understand that? The method for creating monster weapons has been passed down since ancient times. Whether it's a hero, a demon king, or a veteran adventurer, anyone who wants this kind of weapon must sell their soul and gamble with their life. Weapons bring both benefits and risks to their users, but monster weapons were not created simply to carry good intentions. They were made to forge the strongest weapon for those powerful enough to overturn an entire era. That is who I am, Galencia Yuta, a monster weapon blacksmith. Big words. Then let me see how long you can keep acting so arrogant. One day, you'll realize you're no different from me. Is that so? I'll never become like you old relics. Just wait. One day, I'll prove it to all of you. My path of forging is the future of all blacksmiths. With that, Yuta jumped straight onto the dragon's back. Stay right there and watch everything you built come crashing down. A blacksmith with no dream has no right to stand on the same level as me. In the next second, the dragon spread its wings and soared into the sky. Barrios, drop me somewhere with no people around, then destroy everything here. Of course, my weapon crates are the exception. If you break those sealed boxes, they'll resonate with your magic and trigger a chain reaction. At that point, it'll become a real disaster. So, please be careful when you land. However, the careless dragon still managed to mess everything up. Doctor, my tooth doesn't seem to hurt anymore. Can I leave now? At that moment, all the boxes sealing the monster weapons had been destroyed. The magical resonance caused the weapons to fly out one after another. They shot in every direction, like falling meteors. Eventually, they scattered across every corner of the continent and fell into the hands of different chosen owners. Ash stared at the dazzling yet dangerous sight, completely stunned. We really messed up this time. You clumsy lizard. Look what you've done. From that day on, Yuta began her journey to recover the monster weapons. Is Alicina S.I. really pointing here? This thing isn't broken, is it? We've been walking for ages, and there's nothing here. And this place is the front line between the Demon King's remnants and the human army. How did your weapon just happen to fall somewhere like this? What do you want me to say? It's not like I chose where they landed. Thanks to Barrios, my weapons are scattered across the entire continent now. The Elder Council realized that if Yuta's weapons were misused again, the same kind of disaster would happen. So they revised the rules and taboos of Blacksmith Street, granting Yuta exclusive rights to produce and circulate monster weapons. In exchange, Yuta had to search the entire continent for every scattered monster weapon. That was why she had been dragged all the way to the front line. No matter what kind of weapon it is, Alicina's eye is never wrong. At that moment, a man in black was slaughtering soldiers nearby. It feels like every bit of effort I spent building myself up has become worthless in front of this weapon. Now this place is my personal hunting ground. Meanwhile, Yuta and Ash arrived at the front line between the Demon King's remnants and the human army. As soon as they arrived, they saw humans and monsters locked in battle. A man in heavy armor was holding a magic staff. He was casting a lightning shock spell at the giant beast in front of him. However, no matter how hard he tried, the weak current had no effect on the monster. Damn it, this thing is basically a useless toy. Faced with the monster's attack, the man immediately turned and ran. Looks like things are finally getting interesting. Don't move. This one is mine. Who cares? First come, first served. With that, Yuta and Ash raised their weapons and leapt toward the monster together. Their combined strike instantly killed the beast. The sudden change made the man, who had just been trying to run away, stop dead in his tracks. I'm curious. You're wearing heavy armor, but all you can use are beginner spells. So, are you a warrior or a mage? Thank you for saving me. My name is Banjin Packard. I'm a shield warrior guarding the front line. Not long ago, someone known as a Legion commander appeared on the battlefield. He placed a status reversal curse on me, converting all my stamina and strength into magic power. As a result, I became a warrior who can't even lift his shield. My body is overflowing with magic, but I have no idea how to use spells. After Ash checked him, she confirmed that the man was not lying. Packard's entire body was giving off a massive amount of magic, almost on the level of a high-ranking mage. Seeing this, Yuta suddenly realized something. Isn't this exactly the monster weapon we're looking for? That child ended up in the hands of the demons. I received word that the commander is about to launch a full-scale attack. When that happens, even more of my comrades will die. But right now, I can't protect them at all. That feels worse than dying in battle myself. I never expected my weapon to end up in the hands of a Demon King's Legion commander. This is going to be troublesome. Then, Yuta came up with an idea. Old man, if I can help you hold your shield again, will you take me to the battlefield? Are you kidding me? Even if you can do that, I can't bring a kid to the battlefield. It's too dangerous. Don't worry. I just need to talk to your boss. As for the shield, like I said, I can help you with that. After all, I'm an all-purpose blacksmith. After that, the group arrived at a nearby forge. Using the fire there, Yuta began her work. Because of everything that had happened recently, it had been a long time since she had truly forged a weapon. Sure enough, nothing felt better to her than the sound of a hammer striking metal. Packard, if it weren't for you, I would never lend my furnace to some clueless rookie blacksmith. Do you really think this little brat can forge anything impressive? Wait, the temperature is too high. At this rate, the entire furnace will be destroyed. Just as the forge owner was about to rush forward and save it, he noticed something strange, burning inside the flames. I am terribly sorry, boss. I broke your furnace. But you don't get to see something like this every day, so consider it the price of the show. This thing leans toward a mechanical structure, and its magic circuits are extremely complex. It has to be forged with enough strength to withstand those circuits. After briefly asking Packard about his habits and limits, Yuta began the most critical step of the forging process. The blade would be made from dragon bone, and complex magic circuits had to be embedded into it. In the forge owner's eyes, everything she was doing was absolutely insane. She's completing the quenching all at once? Ordinary materials would never survive that kind of stress. And what is that thing in her hand? I've never even seen that kind of material before, let alone this kind of forging method. I think I've seen this in an ancient text. There was once a craft that used a similar method. It was a forging technique modeled after the one used by the goddess of the furnace, passed down by that clan. But I heard that clan was wiped out more than 10 years ago. Packard, who exactly is that little girl? I heard she's a blacksmith from Blacksmith Street. Can she really help me hold my shield again? Packard had always stood at the very front, protecting the comrades behind him. That was his duty, and it was also his honor. Young blacksmith, I don't know if this is fate or pure coincidence, but if you can let me return to that place and become my comrade's shield once more, then I'd gladly sell you my soul. At that moment, Yuta had already finished forging the weapon. What a shame. Since this isn't my own furnace, this weapon isn't perfect. It'll probably break pretty soon. Even so, I believe you can help your master fulfill his wish. Right. Your name will be Conversion. Uncle Packard, I want to confirm one thing first, even if it's only temporary. Do you still call yourself a warrior? Of course. To me, warrior isn't just a title. It's the power to protect my companions. As long as I can still do that, I will always be a true warrior. Good. That makes you worthy of the weapon I forged. Are you ready? It's time to go to the place where you were always meant to stand. After that, the group arrived at the front line of the war. By then, the battle between humanity and the demons had fully begun. Even without their captain, even with their defenses weakened, the warriors still risked their lives and fought fiercely against the demons. So what if it's dangerous? I'm still going to wipe out these damn bugs. But in the next second, a vicious magic cannon blast shot from the distance, heading straight for the warriors fighting on the front line. Against that attack, no one could do anything. If only Packard were here. At that moment, Packard raised his giant shield, leapt high into the air, and blocked the magic cannon head-on. The powerful energy scattered in every direction. Then, it exploded among the swarm of monsters. After the smoke cleared, the female mage finally saw who was standing before her. "I'm sorry, everyone. I'm late. I will protect you all with my life." Frontline Captain, Warrior Packard, reporting for duty. "Guildmaster, please give your orders. Sorry I'm late. Leave the defense to me from here on." With that, Packard raised his giant shield and walked toward the battlefield ahead. Facing the charging monster army, Packard lifted the sword in his hand. He struck the ground with all his strength, and the terrifying force blasted the incoming monsters away. Seeing her weapon perform so well, Yuta was extremely satisfied. This monster weapon, named Conversion, could turn the magic poured into it into matching physical power. Its conversion efficiency was not very high, but for someone with a massive amount of magic, that loss barely mattered. Yuta called the current Packard a magic sword and shield warrior. Seeing Packard return immediately reignited hope in every warrior. Thank goodness, our frontline captain is finally back. However, while the female mage was still excited, a demon suddenly aimed at the front line and fired a fierce, flaming arrow. Packard quickly stepped forward and raised his shield to block it. The massive force exploded across the battlefield. Among those new demons up ahead, did you see anyone holding a strange staff? 3 terrifying demons suddenly appeared on the battlefield, and they seemed to be commanders of the monster army. The moment Ash saw them, she charged straight in, while reminding Yuta to keep an eye on the archer. In the next second, Ash rushed right in front of the demon. The two sides immediately began a fierce battle. Yuta raised her hammer and leapt high into the air. Release Belicina. Immediately, the hammer split into several pieces and launched a fierce attack at the archer below. However, that attack was still not enough to damage it. The archer drew its bow again. It fired at Ash, who was fighting ahead, but Packard arrived just in time. He blocked the archer's attack once again. Even the full power strike from the twin blade demon in front of him could not break through his defense. Using that opening, Ash moved around the giant shield and tried to ambush the enemy. But the enemy noticed her and slashed downward. However, all of this was exactly what Ash had expected. She activated her monster weapon S skill and used the manifested arms to catch the enemy's attack. Just as the twin blade demon froze in shock, Ash smiled. At some point, Yuta had already reached their side. Ash used the manifested arms to hurl Yuta straight toward the demon in front of them. Didn't see this coming, did you? Take this. Invincible Destruction Hammer. That savage hammer strike smashed the demon hard into the stone wall. How is that? We are the infamous troublemaking duo of the Blacksmith world, the Tiger and Dragon Devils. Just then, a gloomy voice rang out. "You people are far more interesting than I expected." A woman in a black robe walked over, holding a magic staff. The moment Yuta saw the staff in her hand, she recognized it. It was the monster weapon she had forged, named Anicap, the Reversal Crown. Ash had always been hot-tempered. The moment she saw the target, she rushed forward and swung her sword. But even after Ash unleashed several slashes, the woman did not care at all. Instead, she sneered at Packard. "I never expected you to come back, frontline captain. I placed the eternal reversal curse on you. So why can you hold your giant shield again? You damn bastard. Even if my arms and legs were cut off, I would still protect them. But why did you become like this? What made you willingly serve the demons? What I hate most are warriors like you. You talk about honor and destiny as if you always step forward and protect everyone when it matters. But when life and death are truly on the line, you're nowhere to be found. Once, I was abandoned by those so-called righteous warriors. They left me alone in the forest and let me fend for myself. Just when I was in despair, thinking I was about to die there, I found this staff. It gave me the hope of revenge. With the power granted by this staff, I earned the recognition of the Demon King's army. From that day on, I became one of them. Even if everything you said is true, I still can't accept it. Maybe things are different in other regions, but on this front line, most warriors are practically insane. What they care about most is never their own lives. It's protecting the comrades behind them. They believe that as long as they hold on, the teammates behind them will come to save them. And they believe that one day we will wipe out every last enemy. The warriors I know are all strange people like that. How ridiculous. No matter how much time passes, I can still clearly remember the day I was abandoned. That disgusting warrior's face keeps appearing in my mind, including you. I'll kill everyone here. Adventurers are nothing but hypocritical, hateful trash. The village she came from had once suffered a magical rampage as well. Back then, rotting corpses were scattered everywhere. Whether those bodies belonged to her parents or her friends, she could no longer remember. All she remembered was that later, she picked up a beginner magic book. To her surprise, she actually had talent for magic. To survive, she joined the Adventurers Guild. However, she was assigned to the most dangerous place on the continent, the front line, where humanity fought the remnants of a demon army. From then on, every day was spent battling demons. Because of that, more and more names on the Adventurers Guild roster were crossed out. How ironic. To survive, she had come to the place closest to death. Eugene, so this is where you were? Why are you staring at the names of people who are already dead? Don't worry, with us around, I promise your name won't be crossed out. By the way, I came of age today. I can finally drink. Ha ha ha, don't think I don't know. You've been sneaking drinks for ages. What? How did you know? Their team had a money-obsessed miser of a monk, a horned Dragonkin archer who cut off both his ears after people said he looked like a demon, a twin arrow fighter from an assassin organization, and a runaway warrior who had fled his homeland. And then there was Eugene, a self-taught mage who had lost her home. This group should never have fit together. Yet their hearts were connected, and they fought side by side. In a place like that, even dying tomorrow did not seem so bad. Eugene once believed they would be her family for the rest of her life. No matter what hardship they faced, they would never betray one another. Eugene, trust me, I'll protect all of you with my life. But during that battle, everything changed. That brutal fight left Eugene badly wounded. Even her eardrums were damaged. She could no longer hear her teammates' voices at all. All she saw was that man's face suddenly darken. Then he abandoned her and turned to run. No matter how desperately Eugene shouted, there was no response. Every warm memory from the past turned into a scar carved deep into her bones. The crushing feeling of betrayal was finally swallowed by a hatred that froze her to the core. Now, the thing Eugene hated most was humanity. Do you really think those monsters are your companions? You know very well that you're nothing but a pawn. I don't care. At least they're better than people like you, who offer trust first, then betray it with your own hands. As long as I can bury every last one of you bastards. I don't care if I have to sell my soul to the Demon King. With that, Eugene unleashed her magic and fired it straight at Packard. Facing high-level magic, Packard could only defend. Packard remembered what Yuta had said. To truly activate a monster weapon, blood was required. But what Eugene was using now seemed to be the souls absorbed by the weapon. So, why did she look so much like she was in pain? If he had never met Yuta, if guilt had made him abandon his mission, would his own comrades have ended up just like Eugene? You were once so similar to us. That's why I can't bring myself to hate you. You were betrayed by the teammates you trusted. So I want you to see this with your own eyes. As long as I stand on the front line, my team will never abandon me. They will fight by my side. That is the unbreakable bond we forged on the battlefield. The family you once treasured so deeply must have been the same. In the next second, Packard's teammates unleashed magic of every color behind him. Every attack slammed into Eugene's magic shield. You think that little bit of power can defeat me? At that moment, Eugene seemed to see the shadows of her old teammates among the crowd. You idiots. Even at the very end, you still make me so damn angry. In the next second, a violet explosion erupted where Eugene stood. After the smoke cleared, she was kneeling weakly on the ground. Your barrier weakened halfway through. Was it because of your old companions? Don't be ridiculous. I was just careless. Enough. Stop this. It's not too late. Come back with me. The family waiting for you is right in front of you, isn't it? There it is again. That's why I hate warriors like you. You are exactly like that bald bastard. If you don't want to get crushed between those monsters, then get lost and stop getting in my way. Just then, several flaming arrows shot toward them. Packard quickly stepped in front of Eugene. He raised his giant shield and blocked every attack. What a shame. I didn't expect you to still have the strength to raise that shield. How despicable. Attacking your own companion. You must be misunderstanding something. I never saw her as a companion from the start. Behind him, Eugene snapped impatiently at Packard. I don't need your pity. Hurry up and get lost. I'm sorry, but I only follow what my heart chooses. From the moment I raised my shield, you became my companion. By then, the magic in Packard's body had been completely drained. His heavy gear forced him down to his knees. Looks like I don't have the strength to protect you anymore. Don't worry, even if we die, I'll die before you do. At that moment, the demon archer drew its bow once again. Let me send you both on your final journey. But just then, Yuta rushed behind the demon with her giant hammer raised. She brought it down in one brutal strike. The overwhelming force crushed the demon into paste. Too bad. With me here, you don't get to act tough anymore. The adventurers on the front line really are incredible. They read nothing like the people from where I used to be. Uncle, that pride you have in your role is seriously awesome. We are the top-tier troublemaking duo, so leave the rest to us. Ash stepped forward with effortless confidence. Uncle, don't you dare collapse on us. With that, Ash charged straight at the demons. At the same time, the guildmaster arrived. Looks like you stole all the spotlight. In any case, we successfully defeated this human traitor. No. At the very last moment, she chose to give up on her own. Maybe the voices of her companions awakened her true self again. The blacksmith who made this weapon once told me that a monster weapon can change in any way, depending on the user's heart. Meanwhile, when Eugene saw her former companions walking toward her, she offered no excuse and only asked for death. Are you kidding me? You want a healer to kill you? Anyway, this treatment will cost 200 gold coins, so make sure you pay. I never thought we'd reunite like this. All this time, we thought you had died in that war. Don't start acting like family now. That bald captain abandoned me without even thinking twice. The bald captain actually died in that war. Until his final breath, he was desperately protecting you. Back then, Eugene and the others were surrounded by hundreds of demon soldiers. To protect Eugene, the captain charged straight into the enemy lines because to him, every one of them was family. He valued the lives of his comrades and family even more than his own. And that was how their old captain died, buried under a swarm of monsters. The weapon in your hand may have stolen your reason, so stop blaming yourself so much. Just remember this. All of us are your family. Welcome back, Eugene. By then, Yuta had already cleared out most of the small fry around them. After a mess this big, the Empire should be making a move by now. Are they seriously planning to stay silent forever? But right then, a bright, fearless laugh rang out across the battlefield. Well, would you look at that? I took one nap, and all my soldiers got wiped out. You're pretty strong, aren't you? As he spoke, he drew the long blade at his waist. I am Taz, Centurion of the Demon King's Third Army, the Thousand Soul Slayer. Aside from the Empire, someone finally managed to catch my interest. Everyone else, get lost. I'm challenging you to a fair and glorious duel. Come on, let's bet our lives and cross blades. Seeing that massive brute, Yuta's first instinct was to look for Ash's help. But Ash was already covered in wounds. This time, Yuta had to handle it herself. What a pain. All Yuta wanted was to recover her monster weapon and go back to living as a blacksmith. But she still didn't fully understand the hearts of those who carried weapons. She didn't understand the feeling of being willing to die just to protect someone. And yet, if she couldn't understand the heart of the user, she could never forge better weapons. It was a stupid way to learn, but it was the only method Yuta could think of. So she bet everything on one full power strike and instantly killed the demon Tuz. Yuta still didn't really understand it. All she knew was that her whole body hurt so badly, it felt like she was falling apart. In the final moment of Taz's life, he saw the light shining from Yuta's hammer. That rune was one Taz had seen before. It belonged to the human blacksmith who once forged weapons for the Demon King's army. It was the crest of the slave witch who danced with flames. So that's it. That blacksmith witch from back then fled into human territory. But your escape ends here. You got careless. You let your guard down in front of a warrior. This will be the final swing of my life. Watch closely. Even if my head is gone, this body will keep fighting with the will that has cut down 1,000 souls. Yuta had truly reached her limit. Against Toza's final desperate strike, she had no way to dodge. But at that moment, Eugene picked up the staff once again. Teleportation magic activated. In the next second, she vanished from everyone's sight and appeared behind Yuta. Wake up, draw my blood, devour my soul, take everything from me. If you're willing to answer me, if you're willing to accept this rage I have nowhere else to put, then come with me and witness my final atonement. Yuta could hardly believe what she was seeing. The reversal crown was overloading. Then, a blinding purple light erupted in front of everyone. When the smoke cleared, the only place left untouched was the spot where Yuta stood. Eugene didn't know if she could finally find peace. Even in the vital moment of her life, she was still alone. Maybe this was the punishment she deserved. Well, if it isn't the half-baked mage who loved stealing drinks. Aren't you here a little early? Captain, were you waiting for me? If the Demon King's army chases us all the way into the afterlife, who's going to protect someone as weak as you? Haha, fair point. Maybe I shouldn't have waited at all. I should have come here to join you long ago. Now that's something I don't like hearing. Captain, I'm sorry. After you left, I did a lot of terrible things. Knowing you were wrong is enough. I saved more people than you killed, so I'll help you atone for it. Don't disappear again. I actually missed you here, you half-baked mage. Come on. Let's go get a drink. By the way, you're still terrible at drinking, right? No, I'm not. I can totally hold my liquor. Captain, thank you. I'm glad I got to know you. Yuta picked up the monster weapon on the ground, now broken from the overload. As the creator of monster weapons, she still couldn't understand why Eugene had chosen to sacrifice herself just to save her. Beside her, Packard looked at Eugene's lifeless body with a heavy heart. So this was your final choice. I hope you find your own happiness in heaven. Then Ash asked from the side, can a broken monster weapon still be repaired? Of course it can. It'll just take some work. Ash, Yuta suddenly felt like the world was way too complicated. What exactly counts as justice? I don't know either. I've only been copying what my master did. Back when the Empire abandoned me and I was on the verge of death, my master appeared. She lit up my world like a beam of sunlight. Since then, my dream has been to become a hero like her. So my master's justice is my justice. Later, they returned to Blacksmith Street. To Yuta's surprise, Packard had come back with them. Uncle, are you sure you don't need to go back to your comrades? It's fine. Before I left, I already told them, once I forge a weapon that truly suits me, I'll raise my shield again and return to their side. That last weapon was only temporary. This time, I'm going to forge a personal weapon of my own. I promise you, I'll come back. All right. We'll all be waiting for you. Either way, welcome to Blacksmith Street, Uncle. This is Half-Love Forge, where Yuta was currently working as an apprentice. The moment she walked inside, Yuta was full of excitement. No more talking. It was finally time for the thrilling hammering session. But then she noticed that all her tools had already been packed up, and the owner of Half-Love Forge appeared right in front of them. Yuta quickly tried to introduce Packard beside her, but what greeted her was a cold order to leave. I'm sorry, but all of you need to leave. Half-Love Forge. Boss Brooke, you're joking, right? Why are you kicking us out? Do I need a reason? A shop owner dismissing an apprentice is only natural. I've made up my mind. I don't want to keep living in a place that might explode at any second. Yuta immediately realized something. Did the elders say something to you? I'll go settle this with them right now. This has nothing to do with the elders. Leave on your own before I have to throw you out myself. Yuta's heart sank. Master, I never thought you would kick me out over something like this, but I respect your decision. Thank you for everything you've done for me. Then, this is where we part ways. With that, Yuta left with Ash and Packard. Watching them walk away, Brooke felt terrible inside. Maybe this really was the best choice for her. My forge is under the control of the elders. For someone with your talent, it would only hold you back. More importantly, the Empire has already begun to move. If those Imperial bastards discover you are a survivor of Volcania, you'll be forced back into that hellish life. They've been searching for the power that can create monster weapons all along. I hope the companions by your side will fight with you and protect you. Keep swinging that hammer with everything you have. Keep moving forward. This useless master of yours can only take you this far. Yuta, where are we supposed to go now? Even though they had been kicked out of that damned forge, Yuta still had a contract with the Elder Council. She had to recover every monster weapon scattered across the continent. The people using monster weapons were stronger than she expected, so they had to prepare. First, they needed a place to forge weapons, but the biggest problem was that not a single forge on Blacksmith Street was willing to take them in. At that moment, Packard smiled from the side. Then he tossed a money pouch in front of Yuta. Why don't we use this money to buy a forge of our own? Seeing the bag of gold coins, Ash was stunned. Wait, where did you get this much money? This is the pay I earned by risking my life all these years. Thanks to you two, I was finally able to protect my family this time. Think of these coins as my way of repaying you. Yuta, what you gave me can't be measured in money, so go ahead and take your first step. With your ability, I believe you'll bring hope to many more people, just like you saved me. Then I won't hold back. No taking it back, okay? And so, they took the bag of gold coins to a real estate office on Blacksmith Street. This time, Yuta was determined to choose the best forge possible. Yuta, calm down. Remember, this is money Packard earned the hard way. It's fine, it's fine. Let her spend as much as she wants. The moment this girl gets money, her personality changes completely. Just then, a figure suddenly appeared behind them. By the time Yuta noticed them, the person had already activated the magic in their hand. In an instant, a dazzling red flash lit up the entire street. The light was so intense that none of them could see a thing. But when their vision finally returned, Yuta realized the money pouch at her waist was gone. In that moment, it felt like her dream had been ripped away from her. It was just one simple flash of magic. Yet even Ash hadn't reacted in time. Ha ha ha, just as I expected. There really is another monster weapon hidden on Blacksmith Street. But instead of getting angry, Packard burst out laughing from the side. All we have to do is keep an eye out for a while. Whoever starts spending that much money around Blacksmith Street will expose themselves soon enough. How could it possibly be that simple? When it came to this kind of thing on Blacksmith Street, Ash knew better than anyone. If they wanted the gold back, they had to rely on Ash. So Ash led them to the backside of Blacksmith Street. Unlike the shining prosperity up front, this place reeked of scrap metal and rust. People called it the back alley. Before long, they arrived at the entrance of a pawnshop called Bright S. Without hesitation, Ash stepped up and threatened them directly. "Open this door before I tear it off its hinges." Then an eye peeked out through the crack in the door. "Are you customers or enemies? Stop putting on an act. Open the door unless you want to get hurt." With no other choice, the figure behind the door obediently opened it. "Go inside. Everything in there is part of my old memories." To their surprise, the place seemed bottomless. From within the darkness, they could feel a deadly aura of magic. "Anything that exists, I can get my hands on. And even if it doesn't exist, I'll find a way to make it appear." "Welcome to Bright's pawn shop. Ash, why did you come back? Don't tell me you're starting to miss your old mercenary days." But Ash only answered coldly. "Sister, long time no see. You're still as annoying as ever. I thought you'd at least act a little happier when you showed up." Just then, a group of mercenaries closed in from behind. "Idiots. The woman standing in front of you is your senior. If you don't want to suffer, step back." Then Ash asked in a serious voice. "Not long ago, all our money vanished after a flash of light. Are you still sending children out to pick pockets? Tell me the truth. Otherwise, I'll tear this whole place apart." Unfortunately, you guessed wrong. If I had someone that capable under me, I wouldn't be stuck worrying in this lightless dump. But I can guess who did it. The weapon that guy has is far too insane. Even I wouldn't dare cross him carelessly. And all of this happened because some idiot scattered those weapons everywhere and made everything complicated. Just like that, Yuta and the others got a clue about the missing money pouch from the owner. Apparently, there was a small hideout outside the city, run by a bunch of reckless kids. The hideout was called Soar Ghost. Yuta marched straight in without hiding herself at all. "Hey, you little trash who stole our weapon and our money. Hand them over, right now. If you give them back, you'll only get beaten up a little. Otherwise, I'll knock every tooth out of your mouth." No answer? Looks like you are really tired of living. I don't know how you found this place, but now that you know about it, we can't let you leave. Even the stray dogs in the back alley know you're nothing but bottom-tier thugs. Since you want to fight, I guess it's time to bring out my trump card. As she said that, Ash walked in from outside. The thugs were stunned the moment they saw her. "Is that the legendary underground mercenary, the yellow-eared Reaper? I heard she retired a long time ago. Why is she here? I didn't realize our Ash was this famous. I told you already. I'm a pretty big name in the back alley. In that case, shouldn't you be handing my money pouch back, nice and quietly?" But the other side still chose to resist until the end. "Then don't blame me for being rough." Yuta and the others immediately entered battle mode and charged at them with their weapons raised. "Stop them. Don't let them get into the back room." Hearing that, Yuta and the others instantly realized something had to be hidden inside. Ash was the first to speed forward. One of the thugs panicked and tried to stop her, but it was already too late. At that moment, Yuta appeared behind the thug. "Judging by that reaction, that room must be your treasure room, right?" With Yuta and Packard covering her, Ash leaped past everyone and rushed straight toward the door to the back room. With one kick, she sent the two thugs guarding the entrance flying. Just when Ash thought she was about to see a room full of treasure, the sight in front of her left her completely shocked. There was no treasure in the back room at all. Only a few children were hiding there, trembling in fear, under Ash's pressure. The kids quickly dropped to their knees. "Talk. Tell me why you're here." Then the oldest child told them what had happened. The empire was now sinking deeper into war and plunder, and the border regions had basically been abandoned. The streets were full of orphans who had lost their parents, and most of them eventually ended up in the back alley. Children without citizenship could only spend their lives doing filthy, lowly work. Those blood-covered kids grew up and became who we are now. We are brothers to each other, and we protect these children until they can stand on their own in this underground world. As our numbers grew, the other back alley gangs started seeing us as a threat. But most of the people under us were weak children, so those gangs launched a war and tried to swallow us whole. Our first boss died trying to stop them, and our second boss took that iron gauntlet from the first leader's arms. Thanks to that weapon, we managed to survive. What a touching little tragedy. So in all of that, where did my money go? But unexpectedly, Ash decided to help them. Just because you came from the back alley doesn't mean you have to stay in the dark forever. where you truly belong is something you have to carve out for yourselves. Seeing Ash like this made Yuta worry. It seemed Ash still couldn't forget that part of her past, the time she spent surviving as a mercenary after parting ways with the hero. Just then, a woman suddenly burst in. Seeing the scene in front of her, she looked completely confused. Who exactly are you people? The scarred man quickly explained. Epper, let me introduce them. One of them is the yellow-eared Reaper, and the other is Big Sis Yuta. This isn't the time for introductions. Our boss is in danger. We have to save her right now. It turned out their boss had fallen into a trap set by another gang. But expecting these children to rescue her was nothing but wishful thinking. I can help you, but you have to promise me that from now on, you'll stop doing dirty business. Hearing that, the children immediately knelt down and accepted Ash's condition. Good. Then let's move out. We are getting your boss back and our money too. Episode 9 ends.